Ladies and gentlemen, I want to share something with you today that can change your life. It's not about winning an argument. It's not about proving yourself. It's about power, the kind of power that doesn't need to be spoken. There comes a time when someone will disrespect you. It might be in the workplace, it might be in your family, it might be from a stranger on the street. And in that moment, you will feel the urge to react, to fight back, to make them feel the way they made you feel. But let me tell you something. Your power is not in your reaction. Your power is in your silence. See, silence is not weakness. Silence is wisdom. When someone disrespects you, they are trying to pull you into their chaos. They want you to meet them at their level. But you are stronger than that. You don't live in their storm. You stand in your peace. When you stay quiet, you show them, and more importantly, you show yourself, that their words do not define you. Their disrespect does not shake your worth. You are not controlled by someone else's bad behavior. You are in control of you. Now, does that mean you should always stay silent? No, but it means that when you do speak, you do it with intention. You do it with wisdom. You do it when your words will make an impact, not just add noise to the conflict. So the next time someone tries to pull you down, remember this. Silence is not about submission. It is about choosing your battles. It is about knowing that your energy is too precious to waste on people who do not respect you. It is about standing tall, holding your head high, and walking away with dignity. Because when you know your worth, when you truly know your worth, you don't have to prove it to anyone. Your value is not defined by someone else's disrespect. This is a truth that, once fully understood, can transform the way you navigate life. Too often we allow the words and actions of others to dictate how we feel about ourselves. A rude comment, a dismissive gesture, or an outright insult can shake us to our core. But should it? Should someone else's negativity have the power to make us question who we are? Absolutely not. Imagine this. You're in a meeting at work and a colleague rudely dismisses your idea. Or maybe you're in a conversation and someone speaks over you, disregarding your presence entirely. In that moment, it feels personal. It feels like they are saying, "You don't matter." And our first instinct is often to react, to prove them wrong, to defend ourselves, to fight back. But the truth is, their behavior is a reflection of them, not you. The moment you tie your self-worth to how others treat you, you hand them control over your happiness. You allow their disrespect to dictate your emotions, your actions, and even your perception of yourself. But here's the thing. No one can take away your worth unless you let them. No unkind word, no disrespectful action, no careless remark can change who you are. You are worthy. You are valuable. And that truth does not shift based on someone else's inability to recognize it. Now, this doesn't mean you should tolerate disrespect or accept mistreatment. It simply means that your response should come from a place of self-assurance rather than insecurity. When you truly know your worth, you don't need to react impulsively. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Instead, you can step back and ask yourself, is this worth my energy? More often than not, the answer is no. Staying quiet in the face of disrespect is not about weakness or avoidance. It's about knowing that you are too powerful, too valuable to be dragged down by negativity. It's about understanding that not every battle is yours to fight. And certainly not every insult is worth your response. True confidence is silent. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't need to defend itself against every slight. Think about the most powerful, self-assured people you know. Do they react emotionally to every insult? Do they let every negative comment shake them? No. They remain steady. They choose their words carefully, They walk away when necessary. And that's because they know something that we all need to learn. You don't need to attend every argument you're invited to. Your worth is not up for debate. It is not dependent on how someone else treats you. It is intrinsic, unshakable, and entirely in your hands. When you understand this, you will no longer feel the need to react to every moment of disrespect. Instead, you will walk forward with confidence, knowing that your value remains intact, no matter what anyone says or does. Silence is often misunderstood. People associate it with weakness, passivity, or an inability to stand up for oneself. But in reality, silence, in the face of disrespect, is one of the greatest strengths a person can possess. It is a conscious choice, an act of self-control that speaks volumes without uttering a single word. Choosing silence does not mean allowing yourself to be walked over. Rather, it means refusing to let someone else's negativity dictate your emotions, reactions, and energy. When someone disrespects you, they are often seeking a reaction. They want to see you flustered, angry, or defensive. They thrive on the chaos they create. But when you remain silent, you take away their power. You refuse to engage in their game. Your silence sends a powerful message. I will not be controlled by your behavior. I will not lower myself to your level. Silence also gives you time to process. When we react immediately, especially in moments of disrespect, we are often driven by emotion rather than logic. We say things we don't mean, we escalate situations that could have been avoided, and we let someone else's negativity pull us into a space we never intended to enter. But when we choose silence, we create a pause, a moment to breathe, a moment to think, and in that moment, we regain control. This is not to say that you should always remain silent. There are times when speaking up is necessary. There are times when disrespect must be addressed. But there is a difference between reacting impulsively and responding with intention. Silence is the space where wisdom is born. It allows you to choose how to respond rather than simply reacting in the heat of the moment. Think about the most powerful people you admire. Do they argue with every person who disrespects them? Do they allow every insult to provoke them? No. They remain composed. They choose their battles wisely. They understand that true power is not in proving a point to someone who doesn't respect them. It's in knowing that their worth is not defined by the opinions or words of others. Silence is also a form of self-respect. When you remain quiet in the face of blatant disrespect, you are telling yourself, I refuse to let this person take my peace. You are protecting your energy, your dignity, and your sense of self. Not every situation requires a response. Not every insult deserves your attention. Some battles are won simply by walking away. Choosing silence is not about weakness. It is about mastery over your emotions. It is about knowing that your voice is valuable and should not be wasted on those who seek to bring you down. When you understand this, you will realize that silence is not just an absence of words. It is a statement of strength, control, and wisdom. Emotional intelligence is one of the most powerful tools a person can develop, especially when faced with disrespect. It is the ability to understand, manage, and regulate your emotions, while also recognizing and responding appropriately to the emotions of others. In moments of disrespect, emotional intelligence allows you to pause, assess, and choose your response instead of reacting impulsively. It gives you control over yourself rather than allowing someone else's behavior to dictate your actions. When someone disrespects you, the natural human response is often anger, frustration, or hurt. These emotions are valid, but how you handle them is what truly matters. If you react immediately, you might say something out of frustration or escalate the situation unnecessarily. But if you take a moment to step back, breathe, and process, You can respond in a way that serves you rather than diminishes you. Emotional intelligence teaches you that not every battle is worth fighting, and not every negative remark requires your attention. A key aspect of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. It involves recognizing what triggers you and understanding why certain words or actions affect you the way they do. When you are aware of your emotional triggers, you can anticipate your reactions and choose to handle them differently. Instead of being controlled by an emotional response, you take control of your emotions. You shift from reacting to responding, which is a sign of strength rather than weakness. Another essential component is self-regulation. It is the ability to control impulsive reactions and think before you speak or act. People with high emotional intelligence know that their emotions are temporary, but their actions can have lasting consequences. They do not allow a moment of disrespect to define their behavior or character. Instead, they channel their emotions constructively. They might choose to walk away, calmly address the issue later, or simply let it go, because they recognize that some things are not worth their time and energy. Empathy also plays a crucial role in emotional intelligence. It allows you to see beyond the words or actions of the person disrespecting you. Often, people who are rude, condescending, or dismissive are acting out of their own insecurities, frustrations, or unresolved issues. While this does not excuse their behavior, understanding this can help you detach emotionally. When you recognize that their disrespect is more about them than about you, it becomes easier to remain composed. Social awareness and relationship management are also part of emotional intelligence. They involve knowing when to engage and when to disengage, how to de-escalate conflicts, and how to maintain your dignity even in difficult situations. Some situations require assertive communication, while others require silence. Emotional intelligence helps you differentiate between the two and choose the approach that serves you best. Mastering emotional intelligence is not about suppressing feelings, but about understanding them and using them wisely. It allows you to navigate life with confidence, grace, and resilience. When you develop emotional intelligence, disrespect no longer controls you. You control how you respond to it, and that is where true power lies. The way you respond to disrespect holds immense power. It can either elevate you or pull you into a cycle of negativity. Often, when we are faced with rude comments, dismissive behavior, or outright insults, our first instinct is to react immediately. We feel the need to defend ourselves, prove a point, or match the other person's energy. But reacting impulsively usually leads to regret, escalation, or a loss of control. True power comes from recognizing that you do not have to respond right away, or at all. Choosing when and how to respond is a sign of emotional strength, self-awareness, and wisdom. When someone disrespects you, they are often looking for a reaction. They want to provoke you, unsettle you, or pull you into an emotional exchange. The moment you react without thinking, you give them what they want. But when you pause, take a deep breath, and choose your response carefully, you regain control of the situation. This is the difference between acting on impulse and responding with intention. A well-thought-out response carries more weight than a quick reaction. It allows you to approach the situation with clarity rather than emotion. Sometimes, the most powerful response is no response at all. Walking away, staying silent, or simply smiling and moving on can send a stronger message than any words ever could. It shows that you are not easily rattled, that you are in control of your emotions, and that their disrespect does not define you. However, there are times when a response is necessary. The key is to respond in a way that maintains your dignity and does not escalate the situation. If you choose to address the disrespect, do so with confidence, calmness, and clarity. Avoid matching the other person's negative energy. Instead of reacting emotionally, use logic and composure to express your stance. A simple statement like, "I don't appreciate being spoken to that way," or "let's keep this conversation respectful," can be far more effective than a heated argument. The power in your response also comes from understanding that not every battle is worth fighting. You must ask yourself, is this worth my time and energy? Some situations are best left alone because engaging in them will not change the other person's mindset. It will only drain you. Knowing when to engage and when to walk away is a skill that comes from self-respect and confidence. When you master the ability to choose your response wisely, you no longer allow others to control your emotions. You do not let their words or actions dictate how you feel about yourself. You stand firm in your self-worth and handle situations with grace. The next time you face disrespect, remember that your power lies not in reacting impulsively but in responding thoughtfully. That moment of pause, that decision to respond with strength rather than emotion, is where your true power resides. Leading by example is one of the most profound ways to influence others. When you choose to stay composed in the face of disrespect, you are not just protecting your own peace, you are also demonstrating to those around you what true strength, dignity, and self-respect look like. People learn not only from what we say, but from how we carry ourselves, how we handle conflict, and how we respond to negativity. Every interaction is an opportunity to show others that respect, wisdom, and composure are more powerful than aggression or retaliation. When someone disrespects you, your first instinct may be to react, to defend yourself, to fire back with a sharp response, or to match their energy. But if you pause for a moment and choose not to engage in the negativity, you create an example of what self-response will take note. They will see that you do not allow disrespect to shake your foundation. They will see that you are not easily provoked or thrown off course by someone else's action. This quiet strength speaks volumes. In a world where conflicts often escalate due to reactive behavior, being the person who remains calm and composed sets a new standard. It teaches those around you, whether they are colleagues, friends, family members, or even strangers, that not every negative situation requires an aggressive response. It shows that walking away from unnecessary drama is not an act of weakness, but a display of emotional intelligence. People are often drawn to those who can handle themselves with grace under pressure, and your example can inspire them to do the same.
Consider how children learn from the adults around them. If they see a parent, teacher, or mentor responding to disrespect with anger, they will believe that this is the correct way to handle conflict. But if they see someone responding with calm confidence, they will learn that self-respect does not require loud words or emotional reactions. The same applies to peers and colleagues. In a workplace setting, for example, when you maintain your professionalism despite being spoken to rudely, others will notice. They will see that self-respect is about maintaining composure rather than proving a point in the heat of the moment. Your silence or thoughtful response also has the power to shift the behavior of the person being disrespectful. When they see that their words do not affect you, they may begin to question their own approach. Often people expect a reaction. When they don't get it, they are forced to reflect on their behavior. Your ability to remain steady might be the catalyst that encourages them to change. Teaching through example is one of the most effective ways to influence others. By demonstrating strength through self-control, you not only protect your own energy, but also inspire those around you to handle conflicts with wisdom and grace. Over time, this approach creates a ripple effect, fostering a culture of respect, patience, and understanding, one interaction at a time.
Disrespectful moments can be frustrating, even painful, but they also hold a valuable opportunity for personal growth. When someone disrespects you, it is easy to focus on their words or actions, allowing anger or hurt to take over. However, if you shift your perspective, you can use these moments as opportunities to reflect, learn, and grow. Instead of reacting impulsively, taking time to analyze the situation helps you develop emotional resilience, self-awareness, and a stronger sense of self-worth. Every experience, including negative ones, offers a lesson. When you encounter disrespect, the first step is to reflect on your emotional response. Ask yourself, why did this affect me? Was it the words themselves, the tone, or something deeper? Often, disrespect triggers an internal insecurity or past wound. By identifying the root cause of your reaction, you gain insight into yourself. This awareness helps you work on strengthening your emotional foundation so that future encounters with disrespect do not shake you as easily. Another powerful aspect of reflection is assessing the source of the disrespect. Is the person speaking from a place of insecurity, ignorance, or emotional immaturity? Sometimes, people project their frustrations onto others. Recognizing this does not excuse their behavior, but it allows you to detach emotionally. Instead of absorbing negativity, you can choose to let it pass, understanding that their disrespect says more about them than it does about you. Moments of disrespect also provide an opportunity to evaluate your boundaries. If someone consistently treats you poorly, it may be time to set clear limits or distance yourself from that relationship. Growth comes from recognizing what you will and will not tolerate. If you have allowed disrespect in the past, this may be a chance to strengthen your self-respect by standing firm in your boundaries. Learning to communicate assertively, without aggression or defensiveness, helps you maintain your dignity while making it clear that you will not accept mistreatment. Additionally, these experiences challenge you to practice patience and composure. Life will always present difficult people and uncomfortable situations. By choosing to remain calm and reflect before responding, you train yourself to navigate challenges with wisdom rather than emotion. Over time, this ability strengthens, making you a person who is not easily shaken by negativity. Growth happens when you learn to control your reactions instead of allowing external factors to control you. Self-improvement is an ongoing process, and every difficult interaction teaches something valuable, whether it is learning to manage emotions, recognizing the need for stronger boundaries, or practicing patience. Each lesson helps you become more resilient. Instead of seeing disrespect as purely negative, view it as a mirror that reveals areas for personal growth. The more you learn from these moments, the stronger, wiser, and more confident you become. Ultimately, the way you handle disrespect is a reflection of your personal growth. The more you use these moments to strengthen your self-awareness and emotional intelligence, the less power disrespect has over you. Growth comes not from avoiding difficulties, but from using them as stepping stones toward a stronger, more self-assured version of yourself. Disrespect is an inevitable part of life, but how you choose to handle it defines your strength, self-worth, and personal growth. Staying quiet after disrespect is not about weakness, it is about wisdom. It is about knowing that your value is not determined by someone else's words or actions. It is about choosing composure over chaos, self-respect over unnecessary conflict, and emotional intelligence over impulsive reactions. When you remain silent in the face of negativity, you take back control. You show that you are not easily shaken, that your confidence is unbreakable, and that you refuse to engage in battles that do not serve you. Your silence is not submission, it is power. It is a statement that you will not allow someone else's disrespect to dictate your emotions or behavior. At the same time, moments of disrespect offer valuable lessons. They teach you about your triggers, your boundaries, and your emotional resilience. They challenge you to grow, to reflect, and to become a better version of yourself. Every encounter, no matter how negative, can be used as a stepping stone toward greater self-awareness and inner strength. True confidence does not need to prove itself. It does not argue with ignorance or lower itself to meet disrespect at its level. Instead, it stands firm, unwavering, and self-assured. So the next time you are faced with disrespect, remember this. You do not need to respond to every insult. You do not need to prove your worth to anyone. Your silence, your self-restraint, and your ability to walk away with dignity are the greatest responses of all. In the end, the strongest people are not those who react to every challenge, but those who choose their battles wisely, protect their peace, and rise above negativity with grace.